Yo, treating myself to something nice from the bakery, all for a good reason, which I'll get to in a sec. But yeah man, today I thought I'd kind of dive into a more intricate part of like beat making, and basically how you can make your beats more unique and how you can make them stand out. And I feel like this is probably one of the more prominent parts of the beat, and that is with the hi-hats, how you can make your hi-hats way more interesting. And no, it isn't just going to be me making a beat and then saying what I do with my hi-hats on that specific beat. I feel like a lot of tutorials do that, and it's not really translatable to your own beats because you make different beats to me. So what I thought I'd do instead is just give you some things that I think about whenever I put my hi-hats in to make them more unique. So, you know, hopefully you guys can take some of them and apply them to your own beats and obviously get some fire results as well. So yeah, let's go. So I've got this beat right here. You know, sort of 130 BPM, kind of in the middle. So I thought this would be a good speed to kind of jump in and show you guys like some versatile things that you can put into your hi-hats. So I'm going to pull up a new MIDI hi-hat kit that I've just been working on called the ANUBIS kit. MIDI plug. Over 60 MIDI loops that I've put together, all categorized into different tempo ranges. This is just for some quick inspiration. So even if you're new to making beats and you want to get some like quick, nice, bouncy hi-hat patterns, then I would recommend jumping on this. So yeah, I'm going to go in and pull in one from this range right here. Let's just drag this in. Okay, that's pretty cool. Not for that beat though. It's more of like a drill type beat. Oh, this sounds good. Yeah, this is a good one because I've got quite a few things in here that I would do in most beats. So the first thing that I wanted to highlight is that depending on the tempo, if you're working with, you know, anywhere between 125 upwards to like 160, 170, you want to have like hi-hats that are kind of spaced out. That's what's going to give the beat more breathing room. And if you listen to like any new kind of trap beats, a lot of these beats don't really have that many hi-hats in them. It's either a two-step, which is, or they have loads of breathing space where they have like, you know, a couple hits at the beginning, then a space, then the clap hits, then, you know, other stuff comes in, a couple of chops here and there, but there's not a whole lot. It's not like, for example, it's not like Southside type beats where it's constant like, you know, chops here and there and everywhere. It's kind of like real simplified. Pay attention to this beat right here. So, look at the hi-hat pattern right here. Massive gap there, right? Massive gap right there. That's a big space for some ad-libs or something like that. Okay, and then this whole bar again is just a repeat of that. Okay, that's a whole repeat. And when I'm building these hi-hat patterns, I normally come in first with the initial like main prominent hi-hat. So you've just got the C notes right here, and you'll notice that these C notes repeat every single bar. You want to keep it repetitive and you want to keep it easy to follow, so when the rapper's doing their thing on it, they're not going to lose their train of thought and they're not going to lose focus. So that's the first thing, space those hi-hats out, give it some mad bounce. Now another thing that you can do with your hi-hats is, you all know about hi-hat rolls. If you don't know what a hi-hat roll is, it's these little notes right here. So what I do with these things is a few different things just to make them sound more unique. Like with this one right here, if you listen to this chop, it kind of sounds almost like the hi-hat's been stretched out. And it's not just as simple as like putting in a random chop. If you take a look down here, you want to do a few extra things. So come and look at the velocity. So you can either kind of roll them off at the end. So if you take a look, like my velocity starts high and then it comes quite low. Or you can do the opposite way around. So you start low and come high. And then the other way around. It just gives it a different kind of vibe. And you can kind of play with it and see what sounds better within the context of your beat. But adding those little roll-offs sounds really nice, especially when you've got the velocity like that. Which brings me on to another point, which is the panning. You can play around with the panning, which I'd highly recommend. I wouldn't recommend doing it on these keys right here, these C keys, but I'd recommend playing around with the panning on these rolls right here, or any high notes or low notes that you've got that are sat by themselves. The reason why, it kind of gives it more of like a spaced out vibe. It kind of adds some width to the hi-hats and, you know, just gives it more of like an ear candy kind of effect. So let's go and take a look at my panning. Okay, cool. So if you take a look right here, I've kind of gone sort of really random with the panning on this. The quicker way to do it, if you're wanting to do this quickly, is just highlight them all, press Alt and R, and then really kind of push the panning to the left and to the right, and it basically just randomizes them for you. I know we're all trying to work fast, but I do spend quite a lot of time on my hi-hats just to make them sound like really unique. But yeah man, that's another thing you can do with your hi-hats. Now one last thing, and I've only started doing this recently, is I add super low notes in my hi-hats. I know some people go like down here, they go down a couple of keys, but what I have started to do is come way down to like C2, you know, drop it down by like 3 octaves. It almost sounds like a different sound. It actually sounds like some kind of low percussive sound. So if you take a listen to this one right here, I'll go as low as like C3 all the way down to C2. It just depends on the hi-hat sample that you're using. So I'm going to throw a couple in right here and then you can hear how it sounds. Maybe just some over here. a little triplet right here. Maybe a couple of keys higher. Okay, and then I'm going to do what I said earlier and just play with the velocity. So I'm going to highlight them, roll this one off, roll this one up. Just sort of do it like that, like a kind of up-down kind of vibe. Okay, and that's literally it. So what you'll also notice as well is that I've only put it in short gaps. I haven't really got this low hi-hat playing throughout the whole bar. I've just got it hidden like at the end of each bar just to give it more of like a transition into the next bar. And these are the things that kind of build that tension and release with beats. You know, you have to kind of use that back end to kind of build up, which is why I've put these like triplets in, and then you go nicely into the next section. So yeah, man, these are just like a few things that I do. It's not like crazy complicated stuff. And if you really want your beats to sort of sound a bit more unique, then I definitely think making your hi-hats super fire and just sort of working on the overall bounce of your beats is mega. Is like, that's a huge thing. There's like loads of different things you can do with the hi-hats, but these things you can kind of be creative within. So these rolls right here, you can be creative, you can kind of do your own thing. Then we can actually take one or two of the first notes out just to give it a little bit of an offset. Like that, you know, you can do the same over here. These kind of sound a bit unorthodox, which is kind of what you want, you know, especially in 2020, you want that kind of more unique style. Yeah, man, that sounds fire. Hey, with the melody as well. Vibes. So I forgot, if you want to get in shape, all you gotta do is that. It's called grit. Type in on YouTube grit and just do that workout. It's the hardest thing in the world. I swear to God. Trying to keep up that consistency. I always like have a nice period where like I do like 3 weeks to a month just really hitting it hard, and then for like 2 weeks after that I just don't do anything and then kind of undo all the work I've just done. So I'm really trying to make a proper effort this time to, you know, just keep it going. Just keep it going, that's the key thing. But put some kind of like one shot in at the beginning. Guitars, ukulele. Alright, let's stick this on. Okay, let's add some kind of vocal. Got this drum kit sent through from Enviral. The rim shots are like pretty crazy, so yeah, man, definitely check that out if you get a chance. Let's dig into the ANUBIS kit. Ooh, that sounds sick. Let's come up one key. Let's go to the godlike 808. There we go.